Welcome to a Yatming video. I have been collecting and playing with Yatming cars since I was a little boy, over 25 years ago. Some of the cars you're going to see in this video are the ones straight from my youth, while many of them are ones I picked up along the road of buying other cars in bulk lots, and sometimes specifically for cars I really was looking for. Yatming is not known for the older cars to be all that collectible. However, there is a lot of collector value in them, in my opinion. The company was founded in 1970 by Mr. Yatming. The name Yatming is actually a two-part word, Yat meaning the best or among the best, and Ming being his middle name, the best of Ming. Yatming also has had many other names, including Road Champ, Fast Wheels, Real Wheels, Speeding Wheels, Road Toughs, and Street Machines. Much the case as with Zymex, another company produced for supermarket chains and retailers, these cars were of a discounted price and somewhat of quality compared to Hot Wheels and Matchbox. However, there was quite a vast collection of different vehicles produced, with hundreds of different models and many different series. Today, Yatming makes 1/18 and 1/24 scale detailed collectible cars and no longer produces 1/64 scale cars. Much the way an entire generation played with Lesnies and Dinkies and other common household toy diecast vehicles, passing them down from generation to generation as well. Right down to Hot Wheels even. 50 years of Hot Wheel collectors and enthusiasts will also remember these. Yatming has stood the test of time. Overlooked by many, and possibly most, this collection of vehicles is vast, with a long rich heritage of design, functionality, and collectability, not to mention clearly play value. These cars have seen a lot of love. Like many brands that have come through the past few years, well back into the 1970s, some have shared the same castings through buyouts and absorptions of companies and all the rest. If you've watched my Tomica video, you'll remember possibly that I did mention that there was a few Tomica brand vehicles that matched the same casting as a Yatming. Well, here's the exact situation I was talking about. We've got the Rolls-Royce Silver Phantom in front, virtually no difference between a Tomica and a Yatming, two completely different manufacturers of vehicles that at some point got bought out by Tommy, perhaps. I know that Tommy bought Tomica, and that Yatming has been purchased by other companies in the past. But here's the Tomica. It's a Rolls-Royce with opening doors. And here is the Yatming. Also opening doors. The chassis is slightly different. The wheels are actually the same on this model. And pretty much everything else is, other than a slight paint variation, window variation, and interior color variation. Not even actually, they're both red. So that's one of the examples I have. The second example is of this Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham. Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham. So we've got the Tomica right here, opening doors once again. And here's the Yatming. Same car, opening doors. Same plastic front. We'll get these chassis so you can actually read them. There you go. Pretty much the same car, relicensed, repurposed, one might say. There were also many variations to collect in Yatming. Take these 4 Pontiac Trans Ams for example. Each was released at exactly the same time period, or very close to it, yet we have 4 color variations and 1 window tint variation. Let's just take a closer look at some of these cars. All of them featured opening doors. These ones are in mint condition. I bought these ones in a large grouping of packaged cars But because there's almost no value associated with Yatming cars, there was really no harm in opening them to enjoy the diecast and be able to show you guys up close the details of each car. Here we see two with yellow and white paint variation, light blue window tint. This one has the red paint and a dark blue window tint variation. We'll compare it to the black one. You should be able to see the difference in color in the windows. And just for fun, I'll show you the same car that I found many years earlier with a little bit more playware, also showing a variation on the tampo. This one has gold wings, this one has silver wings, clear windows, blue windows, and there should have been a door there, but clearly that has come off. Both are Yatming cars. The Pontiac Trans Am is not a one-off casting, same as it isn't with Hot Wheels. This is one of their most popular castings, or was I should say, and you can find it throughout a variety of years and generations with subtle differences, such as the open coloration of the Firebird emblem here, or Trans Am emblem. It is doubtful that these cars are from the exact same time period, as they do exhibit slight window variations. This one has a clear blue, whereas this one is a light blue, and obviously the tampo. There's tons and tons of old Trans Ams I can use to verify this, as I have literally hordes of them. Here's one with the old style wheels, actually Tomica style wheels. These are the wheels that Tomica used to use before Yatming got their own proprietary wheel, which was used on several of their name brand vehicles afterwards. Both are labeled Yatming, however. To further complicate things, I've included another 6 Trans Ams that were found in one of my 48 car cases. Once again, we had the various variations of the red Trans Am looked at earlier, the silver outline, the gold outline wing, and now a solid black wing. This one also is considered Yatming, but features the Tomica style wheels. They're just blacked out because they've lost their chrome. Quite interesting. In the back row here, or second row, 5 more Trans Ams. Most interestingly is this one here, which states Rocky 2. This is a movie promotional vehicle from Yatming as well, featuring Tomica gold hub style wheels. Probably quite rare, I would think. All of them feature the exact same casting, opening doors and base. However, we can see there's various paint schemes, tampos, wheels, windows. The only thing that seems standard is the interior. So there is a giant collection of 15 Pontiac Trans Ams from Yatming. Here's another cool casting of the Trans Am. This is an older model, probably 1980, 81 or so, perhaps late 70s. There's no variations amongst the 4 that I have to show you here. I just thought I'd bring them all out since 3 of them are in mint condition. And look at, they even feature red transparent taillights across the back. These ones don't have opening doors and plastic bases, which leads me to believe that these are probably later model Yatmings, probably mid to late 1980s. Here's the beater of the collection. Yatming has produced so many different cool castings, and as you can see, I have over 200 cars here to show you. I can't possibly show them all to you in one bunch, so I'm going to take the best of the best and present them here on my junkyard field of cars. Any of these cars that you have some questions about, feel free to comment and I will try and answer you the best I can. As you can see, we have a mix of Corvettes, Mustangs, all sorts of import and local cars. Most of these cars have opening doors. Many of them are metal on metal, die-cast bodies with die-cast chassis, full suspension. Some of these cars are so old that they feature the Tomica style wheels, which probably dates back to the 1970s. Some favorites of mine include the Nissan 300X Fairlady, the Maserati, Ford Mustang Turbo, and this really cool car that we're going to zoom in on here with side tailpipes. Also check out these Lincolns and all these other cool cars in the background. We've got Cadillacs, Rolls-Royce, Dodge Chargers, Monacos, Ford Galaxies, and back again with the Corvette Stingrays. Just a nice low-down view on those. This is a nice smattering of the cars that were available, including a Nissan or Datsun 280Z, Supras, and an Audi. Among the many offerings of vehicles released by Yatming was a large selection of vans, more so to do with the paint and tampo variations. They had two distinct styles. The first style was this short Chevy style van. This one here features the Star Trek 3 Vulcan Planet Tampo, so that one is probably from around 1982 when the movie was released. The latter, probably a mid to late 1980s van, was very generic and has a short, tall snout, a tall windshield. There's lots of paint variations for that one as well, but most of the vans I'd like to feature in this video are the older ones with the short roof line, metal base, and quite a few actual tampo variations. Some of them have stickers versus tampos. These can often be found because they have peeling corners on the labels and are probably from a latter point in the Yatming timeline versus the earlier tampo variation. Like all small 1/64 scale vehicles, cost-cutting measures were in place throughout the period, and as you go later on, the vehicles do get a little cheaper. And who could forget the Jeep casting? This is a Jeep CJ7, perhaps a Jeep CJ5 in some cases. This casting was originally an all-metal vehicle featuring a metal base, opening hood, chrome plastic engine, and a metal body. Here you see a whole bunch of examples of what I just talked about, and some of them in better conditions than others. These are fairly hard to come by nowadays. Some of them had stickers versus tampos on them. This one here has the rainbow stickers. As you can see, it covers up all of the details that you would normally see on the door of this Eagle version, same vehicle. I have one here with the hood open. That one features the cast-in metal engine, and not as old as the ones that featured the separate chrome plastic engine. Here we have a bunch of roofless versions. These ones are not that old either, as they have plastic bases, and by not that old I do mean 20 to 30 years old. And now just a quick closer top-down view of some of these vehicles. As I had mentioned, metal engine on that one, and a chrome plastic engine on this one here. The hood does not stay open on its own. Very nice details, and a separate fifth wheel right on the back. So not just a piece of molded on plastic. These frequently broke off. As you can see on this model here, it no longer features the spare tire because it has fallen off. Just glued right onto it, apparently. And finishing off this Yatming video is my favorite casting of the bunch. An older 19 Chevy Blazer. This one features opening doors, full suspension, a sunroof, all metal casting with metal base, lots of detail, a chrome front grille that's separate from the chassis and body. Just a really nice heavy vehicle, and not something that was ordinarily done at the time without modification as far as suspension and lift kits and all the rest. We have just looked at this one briefly before in the video, but just to reiterate, this one has full suspension and just really nice solid closing doors. The only reason why I said earlier in the start of the video that the quality was lower on these compared to Hot Wheels and Matchbox at the time was because of the fragileness of them and of the paint. The paint is very susceptible to being chipped and scratched. It does flake off at times. Similar to the old Spectraflame Hot Wheels from 1960s and early 70s. However, the quality by today's standards is spot on. Good 1/64 scale vehicles, lots of detail, all metal suspension, accurately scaled wheels, not big fat plastic wheels that you find on Hot Wheels and Matchbox. This is a lot more accurate than any Chevy Blazer you might find from Hot Wheels. Just to reiterate that point, here we go. Mind you, these are different models and years specifically of the Chevy Blazer. Here's a Hot Wheel Chevy Blazer next to the Yatming. Both feature opening doors. Both have a transparent roof piece. This one has a light bar, that one has a siren. Metal base. The vehicles in quality are actually very similar, even for the day, when these both would have been released around the same time. But for accuracy, the Yatming does come shining through a little bit more than the Hot Wheels, I would say. What's your decision? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear about it and have a discussion. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and there'll be many more casting specific, company specific, and vintage videos on the way, in addition to newer videos for Greenlight and Johnny Lightning and whatever else comes my way. Stay tuned.
Before you said, it's been done by every tribe in history. Every tribe facing annihilation. All the Indians of the Amazon are doing